They called it a community safety demonstration at 2:00 p.m. By 2:15, my detached workshop was nothing but a skeleton of charred timber. And if you think that sounds extreme, just wait until you hear the reason why. I'm a retired judge and a master gardener. I live on a historic tour plot that the new Evergreen Terrace HOA was literally built around. I never joined their association, and I definitely didn't follow their rules about monoculture lawns. My backyard was actually a certified monarch butterfly way station filled with beautiful, tall, native milkweed and wildflowers. But the HOA president, a woman named Cynthia, who saw a single dandelion as a personal attack, had already sent me 5 notices of nuisance in a single month. She called my sanctuary a fire hazard and unkempt brush. In response, I sent her my city-approved habitat permits. She sent back a threat. The Saturday it all went down, I was at a judicial conference in the city. Suddenly, my Ring camera pinged with a motion-detected alert. I opened the app and watched in absolute horror as a group of men in HOA vests, led by Cynthia herself, started piling dry brush against my back fence. Cynthia was holding a megaphone, telling a small crowd of neighbors they were performing a controlled burn to protect the community from neglected hazards. They had no permit, they didn't call the fire department, and they completely failed to account for the wind. That so-called controlled burn jumped my fence in seconds. By the time the real fire trucks arrived, my workshop, which held 40 years of my woodworking tools and my late husband's journals, was gone. When I got home, I didn't scream. I didn't even speak to Cynthia, who was busy crying to a news reporter about how the fire was an accident caused by the owner's dry weeds. Instead, I went straight to the fire marshal. I handed over the high-definition footage of Cynthia pouring accelerant onto the pile. I handed over the emails where she bragged about taking care of the eyesore on the corner. And I calmly reminded the marshal that we were under a county-wide burn ban that day. 2 weeks later, Cynthia walked into the local courthouse for her arraignment on charges of reckless arson and felony criminal mischief. She walked in with her head held high, flanked by the HOA's expensive lawyers. She looked at the bench, expecting to see a stranger. Instead, she saw me. I was unto the presiding judge that would be a conflict of interest, but I was sitting right there in the front row as the primary witness, surrounded by the city's top prosecutors. The look of pure terror that washed over her face when she realized she had just burned a weed patch. But the property of a woman who knew every single statute in the state was worth more than any restitution check. The HOA's insurance company dropped them immediately. Cynthia was forced to resign and face 2 years of probation and 6-figure damages. Today, my workshop is rebuilt, and my wildflowers are taller than ever. And Cynthia, she moved. Turns out, it is hard to be the queen of the cul-de-sac when you're a convicted felon. Thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe to BestWithB12 for more stories like this.